I am going to stream today with Seminole County tax collector J.R. Kroll. He is the county tax collector for Seminole County. And there's been a lot of questions when it comes to our driver's license changing. How do I renew certain things? Where do I go to renew certain things? So instead of listening to me all the time, I figured, why not welcome in a tax collector who's been elected by you to provide this type of information. So I live here in Seminole County. I thought, what better than to welcome in Seminole County tax collector J.R. Kroll. J.R. Kroll has been in office here for a little bit, and we're going to welcome him here inside of the truck. Welcome in, sir.
Hello.
So we're having some major technical problems this morning.
Okay.
So you get to do this. We get to do this on our phone.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's still going to work. Still going to look amazing. I am going to give you this fancy mic to put on so we can chat with you a little bit. If you want to clip that on there on your shirt. It's amazing how advanced we've got with our phones and all that stuff. But meanwhile, I've got this $100,000 truck and my cameras aren't currently working. So welcome into the truck, sir. I appreciate you joining me in here today. So a lot of people reached out and they had all these questions about the driver's license numbers changing. I get the question. There we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. This is so much fun that I am losing my mind this morning. There we go. So a lot of people reached out to me and they were like, hey, I heard that my tag expires at in the beginning of the month. I could wait 30 days, all this stuff. My law enforcement mind kicks in. And then, of course, I delivered a little, probably less nice than you would, something like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me get you into the truck today and talk a little about you, what you guys offer here. And then, of course, we can kind of inform everybody what's happening here. So
Okay.
Thanks for jumping in with me today.
Yeah, no, of course.
Last minute, I hit the tax collector up late last night. And I was like, hey, are you available tomorrow? He's like, what do you want, man? So when did you assume office here in Seminole County?
Well, I was elected in 2020, November of 2020, and I took office the next day. Because even though I wasn't legally in office yet, but I started work. I came into work the next day.
Yeah, you're not going to just sit around and wait for the swearing in and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I came and I was like, I need to hit the ground running. So I started showing up to work every day then, trying to figure everything out. And then, of course, in January when you get sworn in, so that I was officially.
What's your background?
Real estate broker for 20 years. Prior to that, I worked at an electronic machinery company as a sales manager and also a manager of a insurance company prior to that.
Did you ever think you'd end up in elected office?
No.
Like, was that something that, because usually some people are like, yeah, I want to run for office. And then there's the other side. It's like, I never thought I'd be doing this.
Well, and I don't think of myself as a political person. You know, like I've never been big in politics. And this position is not. Right. I don't believe it's very political.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, there's no real legislative power.
No.
It's more administrative and making sure the numbers work.
Yeah, I mean, even when we go to Tallahassee to talk about, legislative session, it's going to be bills that affect the office itself, and usually it's DMV issues that we're trying to get something squashed on, or some kind of property tax thing we want to get taken care of or passed, in that way.
So what are some of the things that you can say, since assuming office here in Seminole County, you guys have kind of advanced when it comes to the tax collector world? Because let's be real, it's kind of boring. It's a little stressful for the customer out here to think about renewing their tag, thinking about paying their taxes and stuff like that. What kind of modern touch have you brought here to this office?
Quite a bit. I mean, most
I say that because I know a little bit.
I mean, most tax collectors come in after they're usually a tax collector that's retiring, and then like his deputy tax collector or her deputy tax collector would appoint them and say, okay, now I'm going to retire soon, so this is the person that's probably going to take over the office, because they're going to have years of experience and they're going to kind of continue what the vision was of the original tax collector and make their own changes after that. I didn't have that luxury. I was, there was nobody there. So obviously,
yeah, your situation is little known.
Yeah.
And you came into a place where you almost knew you had to come in full sprint.
Yeah.
And make some changes.
Exactly. It was going to be, we knew it was going to be challenging. I mean, there were so many issues that we had to correct. I like to departmentalize everything about,
right.
Importance, level of importance to start, and then get through that. So we really did. We kind of went to say what needs to be fixed here ASAP, and then start moving down the line. We're 4 years in almost, so now we're getting to the end of this right now. We're on the IT side of it, so we're having issues with things that were working but not working to the best of their ability.
Right.
So now we're changing things like our queuing system this year.
Okay.
We're changing to a much better queuing system, so it's going to be a much better experience for the people of Seminole County. We changed our tax program because we had a program that wasn't working efficiently, so we're changing that to a more efficient program. We've changed, of course, we had leases, that we had a bunch of leases that Greenberg had put into effect, so we eliminated those and purchased property, kind of combined a bunch of offices into one to save the taxpayers about $330,000 a year in lease
That's
payments.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it pays for itself after a few years.
Right. So when it comes to like one of the biggest things, I am amazed by little advancements in technology. So a couple of months ago, I got to walk into a grocery store, no line, in and out, kiosk, simple, paid, and I renewed my tags.
Yeah.
What the heck is that about? And I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a third-party company that partners with tax collectors in the state. Some tax collectors have numerous ones all over their counties if they're larger. We're such a small county that we actually have more offices than most even larger. Lake County geographically is 3-4 times our size,
right?
And they have 3 offices.
Okay.
So even in Orange County, much larger than us, 3 times our population, they have 3 gigantic offices. So if you want to drive somewhere, it's going to take you, from one office to another, might take you an hour, depending on traffic. Whereas there's not an office here in Seminole County that probably is less than 20 minutes from another office.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah, we're more residential, so it really helps out.
Knowing that you guys, I'm 13 minutes from this one, I'm 17 minutes from another one. It's like, all right, where am I at today if I got to get business done and I don't have to drive 40 minutes to the other side of the county in order to get stuff done?
And we do post the active real life times, wait times on the website every day. So, and it's updated in real time. And so that's going to tell you, if you look at an office and let's say you from Sanford, Lake Mary, you would look at it and say, which one doesn't have a wait? It's typically going to be Sanford. So you would be like, okay, I'll take that 3-minute drive over to Sanford differently and be able to get, serviced right away.
What kind of services does the tax collector in general take care of? And then are there any extras that you specifically do here in Seminole County?
Yeah, well, every tax collector is different. There are tax collectors, let's say, that conceal weapon permits. We do the applications for those. We have 2 locations in Castleberry and Lake Mary. I wouldn't say a lot, but there's quite a few tax collectors that don't do concealed weapon permits.
So someone would have to go through the state agriculture office rather than their local tax collector.
And ask to do it and be able to do that out of their office and set it all up and the equipment and everything. So it generates revenue. So we're like, okay, we do that on behalf of the Department of Agriculture. But if you go to Orange County, you have to go down to the Department of Agricultural building.
Yeah, I remember.
And get that done. So, it's going to be a lot more congestion because the entire county has to go to one spot.
Gotcha. You guys have, and I got to give your team a shout out. Since you've hopped on, you guys have been very transparent and proactive information. So like an office will go down, and before I even get the email that goes out to the media, I'm seeing you guys very uniformly post on social media. And you guys have mastered the graphics. It looks the same. You guys have a branding, but if an office closes or if a machine goes down, you guys are really trying to just be a source of information while getting people's stuff done. I think that's pretty cool. Not a lot of places do that.
The only credit I can take for that is that I hired the right person to do that. Because I was doing it myself when I first got there.
And you're like,
there was nobody. I said, I'm not really good at this. So I hired my girl, Rebecca. She's public relations. She's phenomenal. She does a great job. and having that to be able to get the outreach and get the message out when we need to ASAP is really important.
So I saw something you guys put out the other day. I did a little dive in it, but I wanted to kind of talk to you about it. What is this, the state and their driver's licenses? Completely almost redoing the numbers.
Totally are. Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that, because viewers might be thinking, wait, do I have to go get a new license? And in theory, you're going to have to at some point.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
You will, when you come up for renewal, whether if your license is renewed right now, if you renewed it today, you're going to have your whole timeline to wait until it renews again. We're not going to force anybody to go in and change it.
So there's going to be no end date to it. It's just when the license is up, you're going to get a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And certain things it's going to change. If you have your license number with, your landlord, or you have it with, you're on disabled tag permits, have it attached to that. So at that point, they would have to change those, to make sure that it's correlating with what we have.
What was the reason behind this?
For security. I mean, because they're, right now you said those numbers are coded to have, personal information. Obviously,
and now people know that, like, each
as a trooper,
segment, I could be like, I could look at someone going, I know a little bit about you just based off of the driver's license, and then that kind of probably has become pretty common knowledge.
Yeah. So everyone knows now. The first letter is the first letter of your last name.
Right.
There's like the last six. So the last two of the six of the end of the digits are your birth year.
Right.
It's broken down through all of that. That's about the best all I know about.
I was about to say, whoa.
I don't have any more.
You know a little bit.
That was all my bag of tricks.
Yeah. I was like, hey, let's see if you know the rest of them.
But it gives that information. So they're going to say, well, we don't want to have anything personally identifiable for those, is what the state decided. So they're going to be changing those out.
Pretty cool. So what if someone's watching this and they obviously know, all right, you guys do driver's licenses, you do tags. What other sort of other stuff do you guys offer here at your office? Can I get a birth certificate?
Yes, in Florida, if you have a Florida birth certificate, you can get a certified, printed copy from us here at the thing. We can't get it from other states or anything like that.
Now, does every tax collector offer birth certificate services, or no?
Nope, that's another one that's not. We're required by law under Amendment 10 that all the tax collectors, and this year we're switching to Miami-Dade, which is a whole nother issue because they were the last to jump on the bandwagon, but they were all going to be required to do DMV services throughout the state, every tax collector. So that's really the only thing, that and collecting taxes are the only thing we're really required to do.
Right.
So we do other things to, bring services to the county, to the county residents, and and of course it generates revenue for the office also.
So is there truly and I know that, is there a grace period when it comes to your tags being expired? Or is it, as the English is written on the registration, it expires the day the tag expires?
Well, your birthday is going to be the expiration date. Are you going to get pulled over by a trooper if your tag is okay? That's a Trooper Steve question. That is not. We just said, you're supposed to get it done beforehand, before your birthday is the actual law.
All right. I see. I was curious on how you're going to take that one. But listen, obviously, no trooper's going to, or law enforcement officer is going to give you a hard time, but it's the reason it's almost forced to renew, because there's rules. You have to maintain your registration. These fees go towards certain things throughout the state, in the county, whenever you renew your tags and stuff like that. So guys, just because they're really nice to you doesn't mean I'm going to be that nice to you. So make sure you renew it. And also, I've noticed, and maybe you can answer because I don't know this, why are some license plates always expiring at the end of the year and not on someone's birthday? Are those commercial vehicles?
Commercial and weight of the vehicle.
Okay, explain that.
So certain vehicles like large trucks like this one are going to be renewed on the end of the year. It's just the way that they've always done it. I actually don't know the actual reason why they wouldn't do it.
Do you know also who started, because I don't know this and I'm not in favor of it, but who started the PM on the tags for rental cars? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest mistake in legislation history, but I'm just curious, maybe, I don't know if you know the answer, but why they did that?
I remember years ago, they used to have different tags for rental cars, and they were worried about targeting of tourists.
So instead, now we just have a
Now,
registration sticker that says I'm a rental car.
yes,
Got it.
So they didn't want to have it on the plate itself because there were. Remember, I think it was like 80s or such, 80s or 90s. There was some tourist that got attacked.
I wasn't driving yet.
Oh, now I'm feeling old.
Yeah, right. So someone was targeted because of that, and they changed it.
Yep. So
Awesome.
they changed that legislation.
So you just kind of won re-election.
Yep.
No one ran against you.
Not opposed, thank God. I can keep my work, continuing my work.
Keep going. So before I drop you back off, how can people find information when it comes to Seminole County's tax collector's office?
Well, we have an AI bot that we just implemented this year. Also, one of the new things we put in this year, and that answers most questions. That
really,
you can just go right in and ask it. Speaks multiple languages, so anyone can go in and ask the question. It's kind of relieves some of the stress off of our call center, so they can have about 30% less calls come in because of that. Because if you just want to know a simple question,
right?
What time are you guys going to be open on New Year's Eve? Say, okay, well, AI bot knows that.
Wow, man, taking advancements. And where are your offices currently located in Seminole County?
We have Sanford in the downtown Sanford area. We have Lake Mary in Primera. We have Altamont Springs off of Westmont. We have in Castleberry. It's a large lot off of Wilton Circle.
That's a big one.
Yeah, on Wilton, I believe it's called. And then we have Oviedo also, and
pretty spread out for you saying it's a small county.
I think I got all 6.
Yeah, no, you did. But for being and when you said small county, I had to think about that for a second. But in property size, it is not the biggest county out there. It's just we are fairly dense when it comes to, I think,
the 3rd most populous density and 4th smallest. So there are smaller counties than us,
right?
But we are top notch for being density. And the reason is the whole county is split to where it's going to be basically only a 1/3 of the county is really buildable. And that's down the I-4 corridor, because on the left side, you're going to have the Wekiva protection area.
Yep.
And then you have the rural boundary on the right. So we're not going to have large developments or anything there, or apartments ever in those areas.
Good job, Seminole, on that rural boundary, by the way. I appreciate that. Orange County's trying to catch up to you guys.
Exactly. Yeah,
they're trying. So, sir, I appreciate your time. I just took about 20 minutes of your day talking about stuff that most people think they know, but I just thought it would be beneficial hearing it from the guy. So many times they're like, oh, you're just repeating information. It's like, yes, that's my job. But when I could get you in here and hear it from the horse's mouth, know what's going on, and getting, like, for me to vouch, I've worked with you guys, I've seen what you guys are doing, and you guys are really trying to make it just user friendly. And I think the days when I say the old back in the day, but I'm not that old. But when I was 16, 17 years old, getting involved in driving, taxes and all that stuff, it was a stressful process. People referred to the tax collector's office as the DMV. And it's like, you don't want to go there. Everyone's angry. The lines are long. But I have not had one bad experience. I've been to 3 of your offices. It's always, I say it's like you're planning a trip to go and have a good time, but it's not a bad experience.
No. I mean, typical office right now, we've got those times down to 10 minutes. I mean, it's typical. I mean, some of them are instant walk-in. You just walk in and they're going to call your number immediately.
Vickers, you better catch up to that. Osceola County's guy, I'm friends with him too, so I give him a hard time. But that 10 minutes in and out to get administrative stuff done, that's not a bad.
Yeah.
What's the future, the next 4 years, in your eyes, have for the tax collector's office?
It's like I said, this is the year we're fixing our IT department. We're making lots of changes, and a lot of those are more internal, but they're going to make the public will also get to see,
because they'll feel it.
They'll
feel it about
the efficiency of what we're going to have.
Awesome. Well, sir, I appreciate you so much, guys. If you need more information, they have a Instagram account. They're on X. They're on Facebook. They post simultaneously anytime information is needed to get put out there. Like the tax collector J.R. Kroll just told us, they have an AI chat bot. So you're going to get information, even if you can't get somebody on the phone. Just hop online to their website. You can ask them the basic questions that you need, and you're going to get an instant answer. I'm going to tell you, it's better than standing in line or waiting on the phone, even though they'll answer the phone and they'll get that answer for you. So for now, we're live here inside Results One in Seminole County. I appreciate you joining me. To your entire crew, thank you for letting me borrow them for a couple of minutes. You guys have a great day and drive safely.
Thank you, Steve.